Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video of a couple exciting new products that Rick's Optics is releasing. They've had a good product line coming up strong in the industry. I've ran several of their products myself, whether it was the Storm series or the Leap series, but they have released a new Leap 3 and Leap 6 that are V2Rs. So they have a built-in integrated rangefinder. And we'll show you that in just a second. But real quick, I want to show you some things that are in the box, and then we'll talk about the scope itself. So just like with the original Leap, it comes with a nice carrying case. It comes with a charging pack for your batteries, your spare battery. Comes with an eye cup. I have the eye cup already installed in this Leap here, and comes with some nice thermal targets. Comes with a lens cloth, and it comes with some tools to mount your scope. So we'll set that to the side. I want to pick up one of these and talk about the main thing everybody's got the little teaser about on social media with the silhouette of these things. But if you'll take a look at the end of the scope here, they've integrated a rangefinder into the bell of the scope housing. That's going to be awesome for these coyote hunters and hog hunters that are trying to stalk up or on these sets trying to range something coming in. And another awesome factor with this scope is that it has ballistic calculation in it. So curious to get it mounted up and see how well that ballistic calculation works. Just in toying with it a little bit, looking at the rangefinder works really, really good. It seems to be spot on with both the Leap 6 and the Leap 3. So taking the scope from beginning to end, if those of you that are familiar with the original Leap, there's been a few upgrades to the scope. One upgrade I did notice whenever I was putting this eyepiece on is they upgraded the way this eyepiece actually seals and connects to the scope. The older model had the potential to come off and you lose it, but the lockup here is a lot more firm, and it's actually got some knurling on here, so you can adjust the diopter on these scopes, so you can get that focus diopter. For those that don't know a whole lot about Leap, they do have this optical zoom function here that versus digital zoom. You'll have this optical zoom. You can zoom in on the actual screen. They did send it with a Rick's branded quick detach mount that mounts up very, very securely. I remember seeing some issues with some of the original mounts with the Leap series. I believe they've upgraded springs in these, and you get a very secure lockup with these mounts. Check that out. Some other upgrades that we'll talk about with this scope. The battery latch door. So a lot of people had issues with first models of these Leap series with the battery latch door breaking. I had two myself. The only issue I had with one of those was the battery latch door broke and had to be sent back. Rick's customer service was awesome. They had my scope like 6 days, and I had it back with an upgraded battery door. Looking at this battery door, it's even a better upgrade than the one that I'd received before. So this little tab here is a metal tab. And one thing I do like about it, the old model, once you clicked it, you had to push the button to latch it shut. This one, you click it to unlatch it, and then when you latch it, it pops automatically into place. And it does take a little bit more pressure. There's a harder spring, so it's less likely to get unclicked and for your battery to come loose. But that was a nice upgrade. Talking about other features, you got your power button here. Your menu button is on the left turret here. You rotate to navigate through your menu button. You do kind of move through the menu with some of your left to right up here rotation. You have a power button up here that also functions as an exit button to exit the menu. And then your battery cap over here, and then you have your digital zoom is over here on the side. So all nice and ergonomical and kind of bulky, so you can kind of get some gloves on that. I will say there's a camera button on this side. I've again played with the scope briefly, and you can record from this button, but it also is the button recording with a long press, and then this is also the button that cuts on your rangefinder. So I notice when you power the scope on, your rangefinder is not on, and then you'll tap this button on the left and it automatically starts ranging, and it looks like it's a continuous range. So I'm not quite sure yet how to cut that feature off, like to cut the rangefinder off. I do know when you power the scope down and power it back up, the range function's not coming on until you actually initiate it on the left hand side. So and then one cool thing I did like was the range icon in the screen is a small red dot versus a square box. To me, it's a little bit more precise than having a square box like some other scopes offer. That's a little harder to, get that target that's at some extreme range within that little box. So I thought that was a nice little upgrade. It's got a nice lens cover here that flips back, locks back in place. It won't flip around on you. And they did have this focus ring that is, some like adding it, some don't like adding it. I don't really have an issue with my focus ring, so I don't really know if I would run that additional focus lever, but it's there if you need it. So you have your adjustable focus up here on the front. And then you have your USB-C data cable port that's on the left-hand side here. And I think that's kind of it for upgrades as far as the scope. Like I said, again, the biggest upgrade is this integrated rangefinder into the end of the housing. Rix stands behind their hunters. They listen to hunter input, and they also try to keep up with the competition. And this is where it's going, not having a big bulky rangefinder hanging off your scope to get caught on stuff, hung on stuff. Having that low profile rangefinder capability is optimum in today's market and today's hunters' needs. I will talk about a little bit of the features. Again, from the top we have 384 and 640 resolution. The 384 has a 35mm objective lens. The 640 is a 50mm objective lens. The 384 has a base magnification of 3.2, so that's perfect for a lot of coyote hunting, hog hunting, just perfect do-all scope. If you need that extra field of view, the base magnification on your 640 is a 2.8, so it's going to give you a little bit more field of view. Plus you got the 640 resolution, so when you dial in and zoom in, you got some room to wiggle with as far as your image. Just an overall bigger field of view with this one. Your eye relief is 50mm on both of the units. Again, you have your diopter adjustment on both of the units. The detection range on this 384 unit is 1,800 yards, while the detection range on the 640 is 2,600 yards. So similar specs to what you've seen with the original Leap series. The big difference in the internals of these scopes is the original Leap series had less than 25 millikelvin thermal sensor, and Rix has upgraded that thermal sensor to increase your thermal sensitivity on both of these units. So that is now a less than 20 millikelvin sensor. So that's a big win for these scopes and a big upgrade. So big upgrade, your thermal sensitivity is increased, and you got a rangefinder now. With those upgrades, comes a little bump in the price. So retail on this 384 Elite 3R is $2,600, and then retail on the Leap 6 640 is $4,500. We're thankful to work with Southern Precision Outdoors, and we're trialing out these scopes and seeing how they do. So we're going to be running them and collecting some footage with those. So remember, if you're in the market for one of these scopes, Southern Precision Outdoors will have these in stock. You can visit www.southernprecisionoutdoors.com. I will say that there is a 5-year warranty on both of these units, on any of the Rix products for that matter, and that's a transferable warranty. So even if you sell your scope to a buddy, you can transfer that warranty over. And there's probably some guys out there that are running like the original Leap. Reach out to Southern Precision Outdoors. They got a trade-in program. You can trade in your unit and upgrade to one of the rangefinder units. So yeah, again, if you're interested in one of the units, you can contact us on Facebook, or you can reach out to southernprecisionoutdoors.com.